Yo. This is working? Yeah. Yo, give me the fucking link. Why is this always the same scenario? Hello, good morning. Give me 1 second, I'll talk about the perks. I'm just trying to figure something out quickly because I'm dealing with something very stupid. There we go. Oh, 1 second, we'll talk about it. Alright, good morning. This is so out of the blue. I'm in a fucking Diana party and I fully stopped everything to do this. Alright. Mayor perks are now in. Granted, it's not the full mayor perks. Like, there's no special perks. But, okay, I'm gonna wait a second. But, let's see, is it Carnival here? No, Carnival's not here. Let me see if I can find a new lobby. I want to find a private lobby. There we go. Carnival's not here, hello? Where's my Carnival? Okay. So, if I'm not wrong, this has no perks. What do you want? Confused Goon has betrayed us all by removing ours hard worker perk. If you want to speak to them, head to the jail. They actually in the jail? Wow. Wow, this is such a good perk. I'm so glad I'm a Squid Kid wasted our #1 perk for this. No, I think that's good. I think this is good, actually. This is what we voted for, guys. This is what we voted for. That's cool. Fierce perk. Easy P... Wait, so does he not get his... Wait, what? Or did the admin just give him 2 perks? Easy peasy. So he has 2 Paul perks. He doesn't have his special perk. Interest has mythological, which is so funny because everyone is mad that there's back-to-back mythological event, which is really funny. Duralius has Perkpocalypse and Stock Exchange. That's actually really good. That's really good that Duralius did that. That's really good. Me, I have Carnival. I did promise this. I went through with it. We have 5 mining fiestas, which have yet to be scheduled. And then we have Slayer XP bonus. Here's Perker temporarily. They need time to code in the talisman. That's weird that they would give him a temporary perk, though. I mean, yeah, like, I don't imagine they're not going to do his talisman. It's such an easy talisman to do, but... This is interesting. Okay. I mean, like, this perk doesn't do much, because sick, handles are 200 mil now. Isn't that like 75% more Slayer XP? Yeah, that is a lot of Slayer XP. Oh my god. Goddamn mythological event. Ah. Oh my god. Can't believe wow, the electoral goon. Wow, that's just useless. Crazy. Shocker. This was worth it. Can't get inside either. This is like actually barricaded now. Well then, I mean, I don't think we'll see the actual mayor-elects for a while, or the perks, not the mayor-elects, the minister perks for a while. Is my just assumption. We're gonna have 3 still, even though we have this, but doesn't Duralius yeah, Duralius has 2 perks. So he does have the 2 perks, Perk Apocalypse and Stock Exchange. He's waiting on his special perk, and so is Fear and Interest. Which we won't see probably for like another day. But how do we yeah, I don't know. It's so weird because these are in now, but they're not in the game yet. Like there's no carnival. There's no carnival, there's no Perkpocalypse active, there's no mining fiestas. It just kind of all said that it's in the game, but it's not actually. So I don't know. Dude, this is gonna be such a crazy next few days in Skyblock. Holy shit. Slayers are 75% buffed. Dungeons are arguably the best. You don't get the bonus damage, but like pretty much the Paul perks. We have mythological event active for the next 5 days. Carnival's scheduled. What do you mean carnival's scheduled? Do I need a new lobby? What a day zero. No, this is an insane few days of sky. Oh, there we go. Are we for real? Okay, wait. So we. Oh yeah, okay. So the perk apocalypse stuff. Perk apocalypse stuff is here, but it's delayed by a few days. So is Carnival. Carnival starts right before the mayor opens. That's weird. And then yeah, this is such a good perk from Duralius, I will say. The fact that we can now go ahead and get average chalices. How much it stonks? Are these like inflated? Yeah, people fucking blew these up. That's funny. They could get Pock from. Oh wait, that is. Ooh, that's gonna be crazy. The Paul perk from Duralius, and then also from Fear. So you're getting 40%, or was it 50% chest? No, it's 40% cheaper chests. 20 dungeon score extra. That's the first time. 327 score is a max, or 328. Where's my jolly prize I voted for you for? You can't, listen, if I could get a jolly prize, I could, but like, these are pre-selected perks. I had to choose a pre-selected perk of Carnival. If you're not top three, you don't get a custom perk. But I will say, I can tell you this, that the next election, the way that it's gonna work is the top four people, or the bottom four people. So obviously Duralius I don't think fits into this, but like me, Legimbo, and Jade will be able to go again. That is the way it's gonna work next election. Anyone who wins the top three is not allowed to go again and get a special perk. They're not allowed to even vote at all, or be voted in at all. I voted for nothing. Listen, it would be fine if we get top three. I promise there will be jolly prizes, but I can't physically add anything. I think Carnival's quite jolly. I think we're getting 50 Skyblock XP and better stats during Diana is pretty jolly. I don't know about you guys. So Minister 1 has no perks? Yep. Well, no, the only perk, it just copied Squid's perk from last time to remove Minion Union. That's it. So pretty much no perk, because it won't get a special perk. So it's quite literally just we lost unique perk in the game. Obviously, yeah. No, I mean, I think it was pretty blatant that Interest Idea was gonna get denied. It was too much. It was too much. How do you know how Fear's perk works? What do you mean? He just has two Paul perks. This is the exam. Yeah, no, the next week of Skyblock is insane. Carnival, we're gonna have 8 to 9 mining fiestas. Yeah, that's fine, Gorbex. That's fine. There's 8 to 9. You should get a fuck. You should get a temp for me if you could. Why doesn't he have a special perk? Everyone will. This is the same that happened last time. They don't have it coded immediately. But they will have it more than likely by tomorrow. If not, I would assume probably by the time that like the carnival happens. Check Kim prices. Kim prices are wow. Wow, that's funny. Why did they go down? Why did they go down? Oh my god. Please tell me I don't have Discord sounds on. No, I don't, thank god. Kim prices are in the gutter. Holy shit. How do you know which mayor is active from Perkpocalypse? It's not happening yet. We don't know how we'll figure that out, but it's not happening yet. We will see it in I think Perkpocalypse will start when Carnival starts on the same like minute. At least we have 10 perks for the top 3. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Like, interest shouldn't have a perk right now. Which is also a good point. Will they remove interest's perk here, you think? That's what I wonder. Because if it's a temp perk, we won't have mythological ritual the whole time. It'll be replaced because he's top 3. If you're number 3, you don't get a mayor perk. Corrupt goon sells something new. That's probably it. I feel like it has to, right? Let's see. Corrupt goon. Officially, I am on, but no. Still the rusty spoon. Do I need to buy and then upgrades or anything? Oh, no, never mind. Same thing as before. What is perk apocalypse? It's the Jerry perk, meaning that every 6 hours a new mayor perk will be put in. That's why there's so many fiestas already in the calendar, more than 5. Because not only do we have the mining fiestas from Mayor Cole, but we have it from perk apocalypse. How much have you made from Diana? Not much. I only did the last day of Diana. Not much. Can you break out the confused goon? Not yet, at least. Not yet. Oh, ooh. Wait, what the hell? Judicial goon. Click to vote. For and against. Vote to free the prisoners. You could change your vote at any time. Vote vote against freeing the prisoners. Gain 5 magic fine for 2 hours. You could recast your vote. So, you just get 5 free magic fine from this? Wait, everyone do this. What the hell? Vote no. Smart choice. Enjoy your perks. That's really funny. Yo, what do you mean 370? Oh, there we go. Need to update. Yo, who would vote for? This is stupid. Everyone vote against. You get 5 magic fine. What was Interest's proposed perk that got denied? He wanted to not increase. He wanted to change the Coliseum. Like, he wanted to rebuild it and, like, make it its own, like, very cool thing, but it was just too much for the selection. Does Diana work yet? Diana still works because... Oh, no, Diana works because Interest has its perk. It was still working up until this point because of 30... Like, they didn't remove 30's perk yet, even though he wasn't in office. But yeah, everyone, to my knowledge, just has temporary perks. So I imagine one of these perks will be removed when it comes around to him getting his talisman, Interest getting whatever he has, Duralius getting whatever he has. Actually, no, Duralius only has 2 perks. He was guaranteed 2 perks, and then a special item. Yeah, he wanted to add boss battles. Confused Goon. I didn't even vote for myself. Yo, good shit, Corvex. Yeah, I mean, we just have to wait a day. We just have to wait a day for all the actual unique perks. So the new event are bugged right now until they add it? No, they added everything, but you have to... I guess they're waiting until the beginning of the next cycle. They're, like, delaying everything by a day and a half, pretty much. Is how it looks, or how it is. Are the perks good? Yeah. I would say the perks are very good. If you're a dungeon player, you get insane amount of dungeon perks. If you're a Diana player, Diana's active for the next 5 days or whatever. Perk Apocalypse, more mining fiestas. Stock exchange, that's really good for people who don't have Crown of Avarices yet. I have the Carnival perk, which you could get 50 XP from, because we currently don't have all the mythological ritual stuff. Then Legimbo has extra mining fiestas, which some people care for, and then we have more Slayer XP, meaning that 75% Slayer XP exists. If you want Sky Hanny's Mytho thing to work, if you do such Sky Hanny and then assume, like such, this is the command, such sh assume, you have to set your like in this debug menu, assume mayor to Diana. You didn't do Stonk Auction? I didn't. Duralius did. I did Carnival. Kim dropped 30 mil, yeah. I don't know why Kim dropped, like, it just instantly dropped like this. It's gonna bounce back, I guarantee. I guarantee it'll bounce back. And meter fills 2 times, yeah. Slayers are insane. Yeah, I mean, obviously we need to learn more about what these mayor perks are. We know Fear's perk. Fear's gonna be an upgraded Melody Talisman, but we don't know Interests and Duralius' perk. I don't know if Duralius is doing the mix-in, or Jade, if she gets top 3, she will just take the mix-in idea, and Duralius is something different. But is the meter thing for Slayers, or is it also for dungeons? It's for every RNG meter. Every RNG meter. If you're doing Crystal Nucleus runs, yeah, you can see here. Crystal Nucleus runs, 2x progress. Same with Experiment. Yeah. Okay. Now that I was thinking, spends are bad. Overfluxes, yeah, overfluxes are cheap as hell. Interest said he's adding like an artifact to help with bestiary allegedly. That would be nice. That would be nice. An extra talisman. Dude, we're gonna get we're getting so much MP this event. Oh my god. Okay. Um yeah, stop trying to end Aura. We are updating the game ourselves while we have events. Listen, I think it's so weird because Aura hasn't proved to be that bad. But it's like, when is she gonna stop? They're gonna have to stop one day or another. The admins aren't gonna be coding in special perks during Christmas break and or not like Christmas, just like during the holiday season. So like, when are they gonna stop it? We're guaranteed a 4th election, or at least we saw. Now we can't see anymore. Do something during Christmas. They wouldn't do anything during Christmas because then the admins are gonna be obviously busy with family and everything. There's so many little chimeras. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Kim's dropped so much like randomly. People are stupid. People are so stupid. I don't know. Magic fine went up by 5. Again, if you're just coming here, if you go in front of the jail cell, the judicial goon, if you vote for no, you get 5 magic fine for 2 hours. And you can keep recasting your vote. So, and then if you vote free, you literally gain nothing. So, you just keep voting no and you'll be chill. What are the perks? I'll say it again. Electoral Goon has the same perk as Squid had, so it disables the 50% slower minions. Fear has 2 paw perks, easy peasy, and the dungeon chest cheaper stuff. Interest has a temporary perk of mythological ritual. Duralius has perkpocalypse and stock exchange. I have Carnival, Legimbo has Mining Fiestas, and Jade has Slayer. But specifically the Perkpocalypse and Carnival will not be active for the next day and a half. They disabled both the minion perk and work harder. Oh wait, did they remove? Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. Okay, that's chill. I don't think it made the bit like this perk is like kind of unnoticeable, but I mean that's good. Not bad. I didn't realize that. So maybe this will get removed then. Minion Union. Maybe this is like an accident and not actually supposed to be there. I'm sure. Yo, what is this guy doing? This guy's actually so confused. What is this guy doing? Why is he here and also here? I feel like they should remove this NPC. This makes no sense. I don't know. Isn't Legimbo the Iron Man guide? Yeah. I don't know. I don't really agree with his perks. I think his perks are kind of mid, if we're gonna be fully honest. He plans to take Spirit Mask out of the Dark Auction, which has already been like talked about, and then also removing Talisman out of the Dark Auction, which is like, I don't even, if that happens, Dark Auctions are gonna be useless. Dark Auctions are going to be useless if that happens, so I don't really like that perk, if I'm gonna be honest. What are the actual items? There's no special items yet. There will be items in like a day, pretty much. But the current perks are really insane. So, yeah. Listen, I will say, I don't think I'm gonna drag this out too much, but I do have pretty good news, and I believe the fact that the bottom four mayors, obviously in this case, the Rayless can't run again, but me, Lejimbo, and Jade are able to run the next election. And then anyone from the previous first selection that got 4 to 7 should also be able to run again. I'm just saying, we still have a good chance of getting the capybara pet into the game. We will be able to get the capybara pet into the game. Realistically, if we're looking at the odds, these 4 people can't go again. We are destined to get one. We are destined to get one, or let alone top 3. There are, I think I've come up with some pretty good perks for my pets so far, to where it's pretty even, to where, like, I talked about it in my short, I don't have the full common perk set in stone, but the general idea, make the capybara pet an accessory. I don't, an accessory wouldn't really make sense. I think we've gotten enough, and it also limits the amount I could do with it. So Rail can run again? No, I don't. I think part of Rail's thing, like his punishment for choosing, what, for, like, since he chose that Diaz perk, you are no longer allowed to run again, in, like, at all, period. What would it do? I am thinking, I'm gonna, like, I think we're gonna make a video on this to, like, fully get the word out there. But the idea is we're making the pet a mythic, up to a mythic pet or a legendary pet, either or. It's going to be a pet score based pet, meaning that it's, like, always unlockable, of course, but the score, it based off your pet score. The higher pet score you have is the higher pet that you'll have, or higher rarity pet that you'll have. We won't make it like max pet score, but we're thinking if we go with mythic, it'll probably be like 375 for the mythic pet. If we only stop at legendary, probably like 275, because that's, like, very reasonable to get. And we don't want it to have, like, the most rare thing possible. So that's what we're thinking obtainment wise. Um our I'll go ahead and pull up the doc that we have. I'm not gonna show it because it's not, like, fully ready, I wouldn't say. But let me go ahead and open this. Okay. The ideas that we have so far is the common pet, we aren't sure, or the common perk, we aren't sure. The second perk we think is going to be really good for any early game Ironman players out there, and also just in general for, like, people starting out the game, is that we're hoping to unlock a lot of the IRL time gated stuff. So stuff like shark fishing, spooky fishing, refined and glossy minerals, and maybe even hoppity eggs will be obtainable during, like, without coal, without marina, if you have the pet equipped. So if you're mining gemstones with this pet out, you have a rarer than normal chance, obviously, but a chance to still get glossy minerals. And same with refined minerals and whatever. So that should help a lot if you're, like, an early game Ironman player trying to get mineral armor, and it's been 2 months without a coal. This should definitely help. This would only be like a rare perk, is what we were thinking. The third perk is the Jolly Prize perk that I kind of talked about. I'm not gonna fully go in on this, but my idea for it is it's going to be an RNG based type of thing. There's multiple Jolly Prizes. There's, I'm not gonna leak the system on how I want it to work because I think this might honestly get denied. It's not like the most complex system ever, but my plan is to add multiple new items with this that are all small buffs throughout the game, along with hopefully a talisman through that. It's kind of like, the way I'm kind of using this perk is to, it's like a genie asking for more wishes in a way. Like, okay, I'm gonna add a pet, but with that pet, I'm adding an ability that could get you a talisman. It's not like a broken talisman or anything, we're thinking. It's just like, it's just feeding into the meme of a jolly prize that I've been promising. No, the pet wouldn't be it wouldn't be a mayor, obviously. No, it's like the second perk I was talking about before is I was thinking 20 times the normal rate in order to drop these items. Because I wouldn't want to fully count out a mayor like Cole, but I want it so that any Iron Man player who's getting into it and there hasn't been a Cole in a month, they could still go for mineral armor and progress faster than they would. Um, and then the last perk I had in mind, and I don't know how if this might change or not, but I do want to make both a bestiary and a die perk as the mythic perk of the pet. The general idea I've been thinking is that you have a 25% chance to drop two of a die. So if you drop a mythological die, you could drop two at the same time. Or if you're using that pet and killing any type of mob for bestiary, you have a 25% chance it counts for double. That's what I was thinking for that perk. Which I think is like the perfect balance because there's a lot of people who care for bestiary, obviously, and then also for the small people who care for dies. And if you're going for like a die like Mocha die where you have no other pet to use, you just get extra money for getting the die, which I think is pretty cool. I think there could only be one rarity of something for every perk. What do you mean by that? I think the way yeah, like each these wouldn't all unlock at once. I have them set at each one would unlock at common, then rare, then legendary, then mythic. Okay, Corvix, that was a bad example, but you get my point. Like, if you go ahead and do if you go ahead and do Mocha die, if you do Fossil die, there's no other pet you're gonna use for these dies, so you might as well use this pet and get a 25% chance to get a double die. Barrel swap to capybara, true, true. Also, another perk that I like the base perk, like how every pet has like 50 defense here, 100 intelligence. The idea, even though no one gives a fuck about this, but capybaras are very social pets. So I was thinking this would give a base amount of social wisdom. It's the first set of social wisdom in the game that you could actually get. Loki's slightly more bestiary when only using the capybara sounds AIDS, will only have to use that for anything. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's I don't because it's like a punishment if you don't use it. Because if there's really something better than it, you're getting a buff from that. So I think it would be fine to miss out on bestiarity. What does social wisdom even do? That would just increase your social XP. And I know for a fact there are. If I go ahead and look, there's like 1,000 people with social 25. More social wisdom is pretty cool. That's all I'm saying. Also, to answer the base questions in chat, Perkpocalypse and Carnival and everything else is not active for the next day and a half. There are stuff like Fears perk, which is dungeon perks, and then interest perk of mythological that is currently active. Future edit 3 accessories for 3 perks. No, but they're technically one accessory. It's all the same, like feeds into one type of thing. Technodad did get technically. It's not really 2 perks because they're connected talismans, kind of. They came from the same event. 30's only a common pet. Yeah, but 30's a common pet, but no. Oh fuck. 30's a common pet, but what other common pet has 3 different perks? You know. I think this is just like a bug. I think that it should be legendary or something around that range. Why did Chimera drop so hard? Because people are. I don't like. It should have dropped before. Okay, it's like bouncing back up. It's at 38 mil. It was at 45 before. Will 30 spec get higher ratings? It should. It like as my opinion, it should. It should not be stuck at common, especially where you could tier boost it up to uncommon for more XP. Didn't they add something with raffle for 1 social wisdom? Yeah. But if I go over here into wisdom, uh, social wisdom, yeah, you have the party invitation and you have booster cookie. Nothing else. So if you are somebody trying to get for social wisdom, this is the pet to do it. The thing is with this pet, and I want to make this very clear, it's hard to make something that's properly broken. You can't really make something that is broken in the game. the admin simply just won't add that. It wouldn't make sense to have the most broken thing in this game from this event. You can't add the new combat pet, you can't add the newest whatever. So I don't know. Mythofrag's half? Yeah. I don't know why that happened, but I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. We're gonna make a video on it more than likely. Like, if it's what I just said are really shit perks, I want genuine honest feedback. Because I don't want a pet that is in the game that's fully useless and no one's gonna use it. I'm not trying to shit talk 30, but no one is using this. This pet is quite literally useless. Grungle, that perk, is useless. Contraband might be useful, but again, you have to kill the fishing mob with this pet out. And then mining off camera, from my understanding, even like they nerfed it and it's fully useless. Yeah, I know 30 suggested something a lot better, but that's the thing. You have to make something reasonable. And that's why you can't add something too overpowered into the game. So I have to figure out a balance of still useful, but also not useless. And that's the thing, like, I'm reading, I genuinely have read, like, every comment on the videos so far, and there's not many, a lot of the perks are just too overpowered. People are like, oh, let's go ahead and make this pet give 15% more stats if you have 5 capybaras around you. Which is like, sure, 15% stats, that's a lot of stats, but that's also really broken. I don't know why 30 tried to make so many different parts of the game into one. Yeah, I mean, arguably that's like not really. It's kind of what my pet is doing, but I would like to argue that my pet is doing it in a way where it's like 30's pet is trying to be the outclass of something like my perk of, oh, you could get refined minerals whenever while having the pet equipped. That's not making it best in slot for anything. That is just simply, oh, to the Iron Man players, or well, yeah, to the Iron Man players who don't have the armor set, it helps them. And then it also helps bring down prices like refined mineral, like glossy 2. These prices will settle down to never be super high. Yeah, but the issue with that is it can't be better than any of the current like, you cannot make the best in slot pet with this pet, is the way that I've kind of picked up the hint from the admins. I can't make this the new Golden Dragon. I can't make it the best foraging, mining, combat. I can't make it any of those best pets. If you're gonna make a pet through this, you kind of have to make it with very unique perks in mind. That would have to be outlandish. If that, not outlandish, but like not to one specific thing to make one specific thing super broken. Fusion's accessory is not overpowered. Let's go ahead and calm down for a second. It's good. It's definitely like it speeds up Kuja runs by a few seconds. Is this overpowered? No. Is it definitely helpful? And this is kind of the limit of what you could do. You can't increase your Kuja damage by 2x with this talisman, but you could increase a few small things by like 30%. You never fail pre. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I mean, that is good. Like, it's good, but at the same time, it's not broken as fuck. Candy dragon pet? No, I don't think they would add a dragon pet. Not to mention, if it's only for spooky, like, no. I don't know. It's definitely a lot that, like, I genuinely want community feedback on this. I want to make it more out there about my perks. I want it to be like, I don't want to add a pet that's useless. That's it. Because as a player, like, again, no hate to 30, but as a player who's playing the game and then something like this gets added, I'm like, this will genuinely only be here for Skyblock XP, nothing else. So I don't know. If anyone has good ideas, like genuinely, like, it doesn't have to be in a specific niche or anything, just something that you would believe would actually help any part of the game. I'm willing to switch out any of these perks. It's just when you're in the position, you're like, what the hell can I make this perk? It's a lot easier said than done to make a pet that's really good in everything. So we don't need to skate the pity. Not everything in the game needs a pity, bro. Especially during Aura, bro. Go grind a skate the pet right now. You have 50 magic find and 25 tracking. Something for mining that wouldn't. I like. What do you suggest for that though? You say something for mining. It can't be the best in slot mining pet. Whatever I add. 5% when selling to NPC. Somebody suggested 1%, and I even shut that down because it's like admins would not be fond of that. Hey, we're just gonna increase everything by 5% from NPCs for the shits and giggles of it. You should get used to playing on 1.21 is my suggestion for that. 1.8 you should kind of just fully forget exists. Wow, I cannot believe there's even 2,000 people voting for this. Quick reminder, in the hub, like right as you spawn in, Judicial Goon, if you vote for no, you just get pretty much a permanent 5 magic find every 2 hours. Slightly more Slayer XP, that's very I don't know about that, because like it would have to be a very slight amount, and then you would also have to kill. No, because the issue is that would bring pet swapping to the table. That would really bring pet swapping to the table, and admins do not like that. Could you make the pet that could hold anything, and when it's holding will get insta-sold? That was another thing that somebody suggested. Like the Endermite perk, where it's they removed it. Never mind. There used to be an Endermite perk where if you picked up an Ender Pearl, it would sell it for 7 coins on your behalf, but that's kind of useless now. It's fully useless in the sense that sacks exist. Cheaper Slayers, again, I'm not trying to make just... Okay, again, for context for this is a pet perk. What about Slayers? So the more Slayers you kill also increases your damage to them in Magic Find. It would... Again, that's too much of a swappable thing. This can't be the best in slot pet. Most people, no matter even if that existed, people would swap to their pet or to the capybara at the last second. Better mining fortune. That you can't make it better than skate the pet. That's the issue. You can't make this pet, especially for how easy I want it to be obtained. You cannot have it be better than skate though. Current pet ideas. Okay, to run it down one more time, I don't have a common perk. For the rare perk, I want it so that you are able to get time-locked stuff. So that if you go ahead and... If you wear this pet and you go mine mithril, you have a chance to get glossy minerals. Or refined minerals. You have the chance to get glossy gemstones. If you're fishing with it, you have the chance to get shark fishing mobs and spooky fishing mobs. Stuff like that, so it's time-gated stuff that you could always get with this pet, but it's also at a higher drop chance. So it's not going to be the same as with coal. It's going to be rarer, but the issue is that, or not the issue, the thing it's solving is that Ironman players specifically will always be able to get like refined minerals. My third perk would be the Jolly Prize. I don't think this is going to be removed as the TLDR of it. I'm not going to spoil the whole perk, but it's a system that allows you to get a Jolly Prize from the pet, and the prize from the pet can give you multiple stuff, including a new talisman. And then the final perk would be increase your bestiary by 25%, and also a 25% chance that if you drop a die, you get 2 of the same die. So if you're using the pet and you drop a mocha die, if you drop a fossil die, if you drop any die with the pet out, you have a 25% chance that you just get 2 of it. Because I think that would lower a lot of the high, like, some of these dies are extremely high in value, like Celeste die, Frostbitten die, that people want, but like if somebody drops one, they're only dropping one. I think a chance to drop 2 would decrease the price a lot. I think some sort of Slayer buff would be decent, but in what way? Because no, you would have to make it a Slayer buff that wouldn't be able to make the pet swappable. If that makes sense. What if you did 2x BCR for buffer collections as well? I was talking with somebody about that. I think that might be too broken. The original common perk we had for the pet was you would get a base 5% more to collections. Which also, it just might be too useless of a perk. The only thing it would really benefit is chili peppers. But again, that's like the only thing it would super benefit. So I don't know. Does the minion... Yeah, I don't know if... I think they're going to remove the minion slower perk. I think they're going to remove this. Common perk 5 to 10 hunting fortune. Is that really useful though? Like, I don't... People were saying that like, oh, you should make it some sort of a hunting pet. But I was kind of thinking, I kind of want to leave that to the admins. Increased crop milestone rate? That's no... It's reduced by 70% on the alpha server. That doesn't need to happen. Do some type of kill streak? No, I don't want to copy another pet like that. Less shards to combine? Maybe? A die hunter pet would be... This is the closest we're getting to a die hunter pet. Because it's... I don't want to fully increase any of these by a lot. I don't want to really increase the chances of a die, but I want the dies to drop more. If you weren't here for what I said, if you drop a die with this pet out, my goal is that the mythic perk would be that it's a 25% chance that you drop 2 of the same die. If you drop the original die. Because a small chance to double any shard fusion. That might be the way to go. I think that's... I don't want to say it final, but I think maybe a hunting perk would be good for it. Because now that I'm thinking about it, hunting is definitely... But do people really hunt early game? I don't know. I don't know. There is no pet that does hunting, but... No. Auto NPC seller, that... I kind of canceled that out due to sacks. Sacks are too broken. Or not too broken. Sacks kind of eliminate that issue. If you're farming forever, it just keeps going into your sacks. Make the capybara spawn less pests on the garden? I don't think a single person wants that, though. Yeah, Rexy, you're not wrong. Like, there's no other pet you would have out. You're not wrong. Hunting early game is a good thing. So we could get more early game players to start hunting sooner. Yeah, because the only good thing for hunting is the frog. Like, the only hunting pet is the frog pet. And it's like not even that good. Should I sell my wool or keep it? At this point, I would keep it because everything is just dropping to oh shit from Diana. Shimmering wool is now 300 mil. Frog doesn't help with hunting at all. Yeah, I don't even know if this first perk even works, quite frankly, but move player transfer cooldown. That's probably in the game for a reason. Rift pet. I think they would rather prefer there be one Rift pet, and no one would care for a Rift pet. Maybe like an X% chance to use 1 chameleon infusion instead of 2. I think it would have to be more basic than that, because I kind of want it to be a common perk. So maybe just more hunting fortune? Maybe something with shard fusion? Chance to double shards from salts? Maybe. That might be good. Doesn't work, that's really funny. The frog pet doesn't work. You know, maybe hunting is the way to go. Maybe I underestimated how good hunting is for early game. Just 5 to 10 hunting fortune, the max is only 120, yeah. I wouldn't want to make it too overpowered, obviously, but I think a hunting related perk would definitely be useful enough because there's nothing else to outclass it. I don't think that a pet perk for just fusion would be good. Something that requires you to have a little more active situation. Yeah, I think hunting fortune makes the most sense. But here's the thing: if we want to stretch it even more, if the base thing is hunting fortune, I could make it just one of the base perks. I was saying this because one of my original things was 10. I think I'm still gonna add this as my like as you can see on the snowman pet, 25 damage, 25 strength, 25 crit damage. That's not a perk of the pet. I wanna originally my main thing is I wanna add social wisdom to it, as there's nothing else that has social wisdom, and I could just add hunting fortune to that. So that would free up the common perk slot again. Do we know if the admin said no to Fear 5S? I think no. I think they said yes. It's not that like complicated of an idea, and it's not like overpowered or anything. They just haven't given anyone their custom perks yet because they probably are just really busy with coding them in. Hunting is underappreciated. Yeah, I think it really is. I think hunting is really underappreciated. And my original idea why I was shutting it down so much is because I thought, like, obviously it's going to be a while before Forging V2, but I was really hoping that the admins would just add a hunting pet. What about a 2.5 hunting fortune bonus per digit of shard hunted? That would be too broken because you would get too high in hunting fortune, I think. I think. Don't remind you of Foraging V2. I think hunting fortune base stat and chance for 2x shards from salts. I think I like that. I think I like that. Because I don't really like the idea of increasing the fusions necessarily. Because you're only equipping it for that. I would want it to, you're actually using the pet other than just sitting at a machine with the pet. You could limit it to 10k shards. Um, yeah, okay, that's not a bad idea to limit it, but I think it would just be smarter to make the hunting fortune a base stat of the pet, and then I really like the idea of just adding the increased salt chance. Powder buff would be pretty nice. But no, because everything has powder buff already, though. There's, like, look, you say powder buff is nice. Grants 20% mithril powder from all sources. Grants 20% gemstone powder from all sources. Grants 20% more glacier powder from all sources. If I were to make the pet good, I would have to increase it to 25%. Or, like, just 21% even. They wouldn't want one pet, especially for how easy I want this pet to be obtained, to add something better than that. There needs to be a pet that bridges between Frog and Jade. Uh, that could be your perk, Mash. Respectfully. The thing is, I'm already set on this capybara idea. I've already, like, made that my whole thing. I'm not trying to switch up on that. That's not a bad idea, Mash. But at the same time, that's something that I would expect the admins to do on themselves. Which is a big thing that I've been thinking about, like, to anyone who is possibly thinking about running in the minister election, if you're gonna add a perk, make it a perk that is like actually make it a perk that won't be something that the admins might add in the future. Don't make a perk that's just like, okay, I want to re-enable the bloodshot because it's currently broken. That's gonna be my minister perk to change the game. No, that's just a bug fix. If hunting fortune is a base perk, you get 50% more from Hep Relic though. I don't know if that's really like a bad thing. I don't think it's really bad if that happens. Um Realistically, I would make it no more than 10, and then if you have the relic it would go to 15. And I don't think 15, I think 15 is like the edge of where you have to stop. So you only enhance your artifact is my idea, but it's not attractive to the average player. Yeah. I mean, Duralius was kind of cooking when I think he told you this, the beacon talisman, where it increased that and your beacon on your private island. That might be more attracting. Make the pets common, and when you get a shard from hunting, it's a X chance to drop another common shard, and for uncommon, um, that would be too abused. That would be too abused. If I go into my hunting menu, think about it this way. I hope this is by rarity, yeah. I could go ahead and drop, where does it, Spike? I could go ahead and farm a Spike shard, which is like, what, 50k? And I could go ahead and drop a Starborn shard. That's too broken. Oh, you would get a buff from Kim too. Maybe I'd have to lower it to like 7.5% or something. Okay, I'll repeat the perks one more time, and I genuinely want honest opinions. If a perk is bad, tell me, and I'm gonna change it. So currently, we're thinking for the first perk that we will have hunting fortune. The base perks would be social wisdom and hunting fortune. The common perk would to be increase the amount of shards you get from salts. The rare perk would be unlocking some of the time locked items, such as refined minerals, glossy gemstones, shark fishing, stuff like that, but at a way higher drop rate, so it doesn't fully outclass the mares. Um, then we have my perk of the Jolly Prize, which pretty much the way that it works is that you do something with the pet, and then after a while, it'll give you a Jolly Prize, which gives you a lot of different items. It's just like a loot box, pretty much. With all sorts of different buffs, certain drops, whatever, including a talisman. And then the final perk will be a 25% buff to Bestiary and a 25% chance to where if you drop a die, you will it's a 25% chance that instead of rolling for one die, you'll get two dies. I'm not a huge fan of the salt because normally you'd use another pet from the mobs you get salt from. That's a lot of stuff for one pet. It's a lot of stuff, and it's kind of cheesing the system a little because I'm adding a lot with it. But at the same time, I don't think anything is necessarily overpowered with it. Honestly, don't care about dies. Not everyone will. Not everyone will, but some people do, and it'll definitely decrease. The thing is, the die thing is very niche. The bestiary thing is a lot less niche. That's a lot of stuff in a lot of different places of the game. That's what I'm kind of aiming for, though. You can't. This is my the reason I'm kind of doing it this way is you have to think about it. You can't add the best combat pet. You can't add the best farming pet. You can't add whatever like that. You have to add something in between or worse. Or in my case, something in a completely different genre. To be fair, 30's perk got butchered. My idea was maybe just dropping it down to 3 perks. That could be a thing. I could just cut out the common perk and make it a legendary pet and keep I would in that case I would cut out the common perk and keep the rare, so the one for like glossy gemstones, the Jolly Prize, and then the Bestiarian die one. I think that would be fine. Would it affect dungeon dies? It would affect every die. I thoughts on making the chance for dies lower rather than double drop. I don't like the idea of dies being lower because especially my idea would be it's also you have to think about the lore of the pet. You would have 25% higher bestiary and then what 5% better die rates. That just like looks complicated. The die perk would need your pet equipped, and that's not a damage increasing pet. Yeah, but not every die is a damage increasing thing. Like just because that perk exists doesn't mean you're forced into using it. Like if you can use it on a frostbitten, there's a lot of dies that you don't need a pet active for. Frostbitten die, cyclamen die, bone die. What else? Archfiend die. What else? Okay, you can't do it for Celadon. You could do it for some Slayer dies. Fossil die. Emerald die you could. Pest die not really. Um, Holy die you can. Jade dye you can. There's so many dyes that this would help. There's so few dyes that it wouldn't actually matter for, and it's okay if it doesn't activate on every dye. I can't see half the perks being allowed, truthfully. I don't see an issue with them. I think that I'm just gonna call it base out the Iron Man perk. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's been a huge issue in the community for a while. I think the Jolly Prize perk, the way I have it, it might be a little complicated to code in, but I don't think it's too broken in any way. And then I don't think the Bestiary and Die thing is too broken either. Let alone the Bestiary thing, I could just nerf the numbers, and I'm sure they'll be fine. Even if it's not 25%, I'm sure they would be fine with 10 to 15. I feel like it covers too many bases. It's covering, I wouldn't say it covers too many bases. One of the perks, quite frankly, might not even be used at all by 90% of the players. It's just, where else would you add this Iron Man perk anywhere else into the game? If anyone drops the dives without a pet equip, they'll just hate you. That's their fault. Make it a passive like a parapet. It could be a passive perk. I don't know. I really like the Iron Man perk. I think the Iron Man perk is really good. Whether you agree on how it's added into the game, it needs to be added some way, and I don't think a talisman would be the right move, an attribute wouldn't be the right move, a mayor wouldn't really make sense. The only thing it would make sense on is a pet. There wasn't a coal for a long time. Exactly. Before the coals that are coming up right now, I think it's like a month and a half since the last coal. Which, if you're an Iron Man player, a mineral set really goes a long way, especially for early game money. This would be broken. Or not broken, but this would unlock Iron Man progression. Even if you get minerals at a slower rate, I think it's definitely still better. I think out of everything, the Bestiary perk makes the least amount of sense with the limited time drops, and the diet perks encourages gathering a lot of different scenarios. However, with the Bestiary perk, it doesn't make too much sense with the rest of it. Maybe, like, I could, again, I'm willing to swap that perk out. Again, there's not one perk. Okay, well, let's. I think the best thing to do to make it reasonable, we make the perk legendary or the pet legendary. We keep it at 3 perks. I think we make my Iron Man perk the first perk, the Jolly Prize perk second, and then we figure out a new third perk. Because I think this third perk is very controversial. I think that's the way we need to go about it. And then the mythic perk, I'm gonna make a video or a short or something about it, and then we could get a lot more ideas. And assuming we were to get top 3 in this next election, there is still multiple days before I would even have to submit this pet idea. What if you make the pet increase rarity as you would the grandma? The way that I want the pet to increase is through pet score. If you have 10 pet score, you unlock the pet. And then it's like, I think 50 you get uncommon, 100 you get rare, 175 you get legendary or something like that. It wouldn't be a hard to get pet or anything, but you would need pet score for it. And with how little pet score you need for the first level of it, I think it's perfectly fine. That's part of the riches and late game community. Late game community, we would like the perk to buff bestiary grinds. A lot of people are saying it's like too much, but I think it's perfectly fine. I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna if it's fine in my eyes, but no one else's eyes, I'm gonna change it, obviously. But any idea why Diana waypoints aren't usable? If you do such sky handy assume into this debug menu, and then you have to assume Mayor Diana. It's not too much. People have no idea how much the struggle bestiary is. Bestiary is a big struggle, and the thing is, it's also a big. Like, you have to realize it in this sense that normally if you're doing bestiary, the goal is that you would level up a golden dragon. you're just doing it. You're like not many of these mobs like whatever sludges, grunts. These don't give a lot of XP, but you're just using a useless pet to do it. This pet would force you to use that pet for like 90% of the grinds, and then some of them you wouldn't be able to use the pet, and that's how life is. I don't think a pet is the way to fix that though. I don't know. I feel like it would be fine for how useless some of these bestiaries are though. Because here's the thing, like every bestiary, like genuinely 90% of these bestiaries don't require a pet. So what else would you like? You could do a talisman, sure. I don't know. That's the perk I'm willing to change the most, if anything. Please no talisman. No, I'm kind of locked in on this capybara pet. I can't do a talisman. I'm kind of locked in on this pet. If it if there's enough backlash on the pet, I could switch it up. Obviously, there's nothing. I could go ahead and submit to the admins whatever the hell I want and behind everyone's back and like get whatever I want into the game on a technicality, but like I wouldn't do that. Like basically what I'm trying to say is I don't have to stick to the capybara pet, but I've been spreading this is what I'm gonna add in the game forever now. So make an attribute shard. An attribute shard would be Admins can make an update to the most useless bestiaries max at a fixed number. That's not how their system works either though. They have a system built for bestiary and how each one is like if you look in the Diana menu, each one of these mobs is capped at 3k for a specific reason. That's not just like for fun. Or not every mob, but like most of the base mobs. The way that make bestiary more useful and make players grind it is by dropping a new dragon pet. Yeah. I don't think a dragon pet is something I would add respectfully. But yeah. I don't know. Again, we uploaded a short today. If you want to comment any ideas afterwards, we still have multiple days to think about just literally one perk. I'm ears open. Any perk that is actually like if there is a good enough perk, I don't care who suggests it, I will very much if it's that good of a perk, I will add it to the pet. There's only one perk on this pet that's kind of a non-negotiable, and that's the one that I've kind of been teasing about. The Jolly Prize perk. What's your thought on Hypixel adding a golden dragon for every skill? It's alright. I don't have an issue with it. It's just kind of shocked that they went down that route specifically. I don't know. I think very I think we had a very good discussion today. I think that the mayor perks today were kind of they're pretty overpowered. But we still don't see the custom perks, and we'll probably see them tomorrow if I had to assume. I don't want to hear I want to hear as many perk ideas for this capybara pet as possible though. I don't want to have a useless pet in the game, and I don't want people like again, no shade to 30, but like as a player who had to witness this, obviously he had a different vision for the pet, but I don't want to have a vision for a pet that's too broken that'll get nerfed like this. That's the issue. So I want to listen. Any perks? If you have a genuinely good perk, I've read every single comment so far about perk suggestions. If there is a genuine good perk that you know anyone has or an idea of, I will listen to it. He told me the axe perk was butchered badly. I don't even see how. I don't know how it would be more than this. Bits multiplier. I don't know about that. Any thought of adding a Diana's bookshelf, but that with dies? No, because dies are too stupid to die. No one should be die grinding, quite frankly. No, I wouldn't want to force that upon anyone. %10 for Mythic and Divine Rabbits. That's a perk I could fall back on, but it's not like that crazy of a perk. Literally so bad, I don't see how it could ever be good with this massive delay. Yeah, I don't, like, you say it was butchered badly, but, like, what would be the unbutchered version of it? I don't see how it would be unbutchered. Well, I can't say that word to save my life. Unbutchered. I don't know. I don't know. Zero delay? What, zero ping terms? That's not a thing that I could add. That's not how that works. What if the pet scales off of bestiary milestones and you get more of a chance to double bestiary? Um, like I get the thing is, people are saying bestiary, but at the same time, I'm also getting told by the other half of the people that it shouldn't be a bestiary pet. So I'm getting mixed like I was in a VC with people telling them like, oh, I'm gonna probably make it a bestiary pet and add a chance to get more bestiary, and everyone liked it. I think every end game player and every like late game player would enjoy it, and I think there's also a certain amount of people in between that would also really like it. But I'm also getting some type of backlash of it would be too much on this pet. So I don't know, because I think it would be perfect to put. You're getting punished for not using a golden dragon. You make less money, but you do the bestiaries faster. So that's kind of the issue I'm aiming at. Is Perkpocalypse working? No. Perkpocalypse will be probably working at the same time that my carnival perk goes in. So Tuesday at 6:15 in the morning. EST is. Bestiary would make combat a lot easier on bingo. I don't think it would be that overpowered. You should never really do bestiary for combat on bingo. Check stats, mining wisdom, it's active. Really? How does that work then? Oh my god, let's go to the menu. That's bugged. Okay, that's just bugged. Wait, that's just bugged because no one has that perk. Because there's no mining fiesta. There's no, let alone there's no. Oh, there's like wow. Never mind. I don't know. Rel said coal is active right now. Then why is there no? There's no mining fiesta. That doesn't make sense. It's weird. It said the fiesta got skipped. That's all. That's really weird. Um, that's really weird. So I wonder then, like, are they not going to show us in any way what mayor is next? Surely, come on. How do we see that? We can't see the Perkpocalypse thing. There's no way to see the mayor. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll open something in our Discord to like keep the suggestions constantly going, but I think I'm probably gonna end it here. There is a lot to think about. I think the final, I'll say it one more time before I end. I think the capybara pet is going to be a legendary pet with both social wisdom and hunting fortune as the base perks. The first perk will be an Iron Man perk, pretty much dedicated that if you have this pet equipped, you could drop glossy minerals, refined minerals, fish up shark fishing and spooky fishing with that pet active, but the drop chance and chance to fish those stuff up is a lot lower. The second perk is my perk of a jolly prize. The way it kind of works is that you make the pet happy and the pet will give you a jolly prize, which you open the jolly prize and you get a bunch of unique stuff. Some stuff already exists in the game. Some stuff is pretty small, but it's just like very small bonuses that I think people would like. And then the final perk is currently on the chopping block, but it would be 25% more bestiary and then a 25% chance to double your die drop. I think the bestiary good is. I think the bestiary perk is so good. I don't know why people hate it. The thing is, I don't know if people hate it because it doesn't make sense, or people hate it because they don't like bestiary. If they hate it because they don't like bestiary, I think I'm listening to the smaller crowd because I think more people care about bestiary than don't. Yo, thank you that Friday feeling. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna make a video. More than likely, guaranteed a short, maybe a video on this. I want to hear every suggestion. Every suggestion. I've read every single one so far. I want to keep reading them. So, thank you for watching. Go have fun with the mayor perks. Make sure at this judicial goon, vote no, you get 5 magic fine pretty much permanently. And yeah, alrighty. Thank you for watching.